All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. We are a couple days removed from the end of the NFL draft. And, I've been scrolling Twitter, I've been scrolling social media, and I'm seeing a bunch of NFL fans giving the Chiefs like a C grade, a C minus grade, a C plus grade. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, how on earth is that possible? For me, at the minimum, I think the Kansas City Chiefs draft grade would be a B. Me personally, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna give it a B plus. Until we see these guys hit the field, I think B plus. I could totally understand an A minus or even a B if you're a little bit more cautious, but I think Kansas City did a great job in the draft, including pick number 31 in the first round, edge rusher out of Kansas State, Felix Anudike Uzama. I think this is a money pick because keep in mind the Kansas City Chiefs, they lost some pieces in general, but they lost Frank Clark. And what did we see last year in the NFL draft? Well, we saw Kansas City kill it with the class. We saw by the time the season ended, which by the way, it ended in a Super Bowl victory and an MVP season for Mr. Mahomes, we saw almost every single, including seventh round draft pick, Isaiah Pacheco. We saw so many Chiefs rookies contribute by the end of the season and especially in the playoffs. So I'm looking at the Chiefs management. I'm thinking they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. So first round pick, I love it. Second round pick, Rashee Rice. Guys, this is money. I saw a quote. It was like he's a low end wide receiver low end wide receiver one, high end number two. He's got comparisons to Brandon Ayuk out of San Francisco. Last season at SMU, 96 catches, over 1,350 total yards, along with 10 touchdowns. Keep in mind, Kansas City, they lost Juju. All right. Now, it's not a desperate, dire loss, but it was a point of emphasis. So round two, pick number 55, I absolutely love it. In fact, they traded up to take this cat. I think if Rashee Rice went to like Alabama or if he went to any SEC school and not SMU, no disrespect, all love to SMU, but if he went to like an SEC squad, first round pick, early second round pick, undisputed. There would be no questions asked. And in fact, he already was a second round draft pick. Third round pick number 92, Wanya Moore's offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. So in their first three picks, they addressed exactly the pieces that they lost or pieces that they could end up needing. Because keep in mind, Kansas City, you lost Orlando Brown, you lost Juan Thornhill, you lost Juju, you lost Andrew Wiley, you lost Frank Clark, you lost some pieces. But the reoccurring theme is they're finding replacements. So before we get any further into today's video, if you guys enjoy, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with a bunch of Chiefs videos. Chiefs Kingdom, I appreciate you guys as always. If we could get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the world to me. But more importantly, I want to hear your personal draft grade down below. So once again, just looking at the overall scheme, they lost some pieces. I get it. I definitely get it. It's hard to win, but it's harder to sustain winning. And I think in free agency, a lot of the moves that Kansas City made are flying under the radar. Jawan Taylor. If you're a non-Chiefs fan and you saw the Chiefs sign Jawan Taylor, like every Jags fan is like, overpay, 40-year, $80 million contract. It's not a bargain. It's not an overpay. It's just a normal contract for a great offensive tackle in Jawan Taylor. You picked up Charles Omenihu. We've talked time and time again on this channel about Charles Omenihu. I think he's ready to boom. He is ready to boom. Mike Edwards, safety out of Tampa Bay. This dude he's a freaking player. He's a player. Drew Tranquill, my Notre Dame boy, the linebacker from the Los Angeles Chargers. So I look at free agency and I'm thinking like, all right, they've gotten in free agency specifically like C plus grades, C grades, at best B minus grades. I'm going to give them a B. I thought they lost some pieces, but they gained some pieces. Once again, it's hard to sustain winning. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have Travis Kelce. They still have a young, hungry, rising defense. And I thought they killed the draft. I really do. I think Felix offers great edge rushing. He's going to get to that QB. In fact, last season, he had several forced fumbles. He had 8.5 total sacks. And I look at Rashee Rice, and I'm like, we go back 2 years ago. When Kansas City lost Tyreek Hill, it's over. They lost Tyreek Hill. It's over. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is no longer going to be the elite Kansas City Chiefs offense. What is Mahomes? What is the Chiefs? What is Andy Reid? What do they say? What do they rebuttal with? Well, they rebuttal with a Super Bowl victory, and MVP Mahomes gets an MVP. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, they lost Tyreek Hill. Everyone was like, all right, they're huge losers. They're on the downhill. That didn't happen. So with Juju, who, all respect to all love to Juju, enjoyed his time in Kansas City. While it's a tough loss, it's nowhere near a huge loss like Tyreek Hill. I'm like, all right, Rashee Rice. Any team in the entire National Football League would love to have Rashee Rice, and you pair him up with Andy Reid and his genius mind, and you pair him up with the offensive skill set of Patrick Mahomes, and you pair it up with Jawan Taylor and some nice depth like Wanya Morris. I'm thinking to myself, I don't really have any concerns with the Chiefs offense. And keep in mind, Jerick McKinnon is expected, news broke today, Jerick McKinnon is anticipated to come back. And we talked once again all offseason about the impact of Jerick McKinnon. You can have him kind of Jimmy Butler's having such a great, I'm not trying to compare Jimmy Butler and Jerick McKinnon here, but like my point is Jerick McKinnon is a nice veteran. It's not like he's crazy old. He's not crazy old. Jerick McKinnon's a guy who coast is the wrong word, but like you can kind of maintain having him as a dual threat running back, especially in the passing game. He's so great at it. And then once you start getting into clutch or crunch time, like the playoffs, fourth quarters, end of the regular season, or just in a big time game for the Chiefs, having a guy like Jerick McKinnon who's been on your squad and is as reliable as they come, you pair him up with Isaiah Pacheco, who's coming off a great rookie season. Yeah, he had some issues, but they still won the Super Bowl. All right. And then at the end of the draft, they pick up a defensive back. They pick up BJ Thompson, another edge rusher. They pick up a defensive lineman. Their last pick, round 7, Nick Jones, cornerback out of Ball State. Like, it just feels reminiscent of last season where, so many people are trying to compare him to the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's like, all right, Philadelphia, they got Jalen Carter. They got DeAndre Swift. They made all these moves in the first couple of rounds of the draft. They improved greatly. Well, bottom line is they lost in the Super Bowl to Kansas City. Now, we're not trying to rag on Philadelphia here, although that's quite easy to do because nobody really likes Philadelphia sports outside of Philly fans. I don't personally mind the Eagles. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. They can, I enjoy Donovan McNabb. I love Donovan McNabb. In fact, I have one of his jerseys, but Kansas City to me is still the team to beat because obviously they won the Super Bowl, and I think they had a great draft. And once again, I think the worst grade you could give Kansas City in the draft is a B. And if you're the defending Super Bowl champions and your draft grade is a B, that works. It just feels like last year. It really does, where it's like, I don't know, man. They didn't have a top 5 pick. Are these guys really going to be able to come in and impact day one? The answer is yes. We saw it last year. We're going to see it again. And Kansas City is the team to be. It's really as cut and dry as that. So I know this was just kind of a vague overlook of the draft, a little bit of free agency and the offseason in general for Kansas City. We'll get into some more deeper dives as the offseason continues now that the draft is officially over. Happy May. Time is really flying. I think we all can appreciate that. But football season isn't that far away. Chiefs Kingdom, I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you watching this video. As always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Once again, let's try and get this video to 250 likes. But most importantly, give your Kansas City Chief draft grade down below. Chiefs fan, non-Chiefs fan, doesn't matter. Let me know down below. Peace.